G'day guys, it's Friday the 31st of October 2025. So today I want to just explain a few things about climate drivers and then we'll have a quick look at the weather, and then the rest of today I'm going to work on some long range stuff. So one of the things we see online all the time is to talk about IOD and ENSO, which is El Nino and La Nina. Now the BOM recently, now this isn't a bag on the BOM, what they do is up to them, I really don't care, but there's two different measurements. So the BOM has just recently changed the threshold for the Pacific due to oceanic temperatures being above their average measurement over a set period of time. And for that reason, they've changed the threshold. It's meant to be 0.8 degrees, either positive or negative for El Nino or La Nina. Now they've put it down to about 0.5. But if you look at the maps here, so this is the traditional 0.8, so this is the new relative score. So essentially due to this, because they've changed the goalpost, we're a borderline La Nina. But if you go to the actual measurements, we're still at 0.4, 0.5. We're still a long way off. So that's what I mean. Like, don't be caught off by this. Just because they've changed the way that they're viewing it, it doesn't actually change the physical conditions of the ocean. It's not going to magically make it rain more. It's not going to magically make it rain less. So just be aware of that. Just because now that they're saying, oh, look, the graph's nudging towards the blue line, we're going to get extra rain. It doesn't work like that. And with that in mind, any effects of this, if it gets close to this threshold, probably won't be experienced until January, February anyway, when our next wetter phase is due following November. So it really has no bearing on the weather over the next couple of months until at least the second month of the new year, I imagine, and that's when we'll see that tropical system that travels down the east coast, and that'll be just a rainmaker. I don't expect it to be a high-end category whatever cyclone, but I just want to point that out that they literally have two different measurements. This is the BOM of the same system, which contradicts each other. This is the traditional score. We're well off it. And this is another reason why I don't expect anything significant to come from the Pacific Ocean climate drivers for a long time. And if you look ahead in this, by January, February, we're back into warm neutral. And if you go off this chart here, if I put a line across here where the average is, so if we go to 0.8, because that's the traditional score, we should be nudging into El Nino by February anyway. That's on the top end of the score. So the average score would be into a warm neutral by February. If we go to the extended outlook, which is this one here, this needs to update yet. So we've got to see another month of this. I'll just screenshot this so I can edit it. If we put those lines back in, we can see that the next year ahead, the trend is for the majority of model members are heading well into El Nino territory by winter of the next growing season of 2026. And this is why I'm saying next year in the eastern states, with the dry cycles that I expect to build, and then we get the dry atmospheric cycles as well, that will compound it, and we'll actually see a traditional El Nino rather than what we witnessed before. And then when you align that with what we've been seeing through Western Australia over the last few years, now South Australia, and now it's building to the east, that progression of the drought aligns perfectly with this aligning and actually causing a drying phase overall. So just be mindful of that. That's just a quick rundown on some of the reasoning behind what I'm doing with these long-range dry anomalies. And I just wanted to point out the differential between this measurement, which has only been in play for a couple of months now. This blue line technically should be down near 1.3 in contrast if you take that average out, and you'd see that even the last La Nina only just nudged that threshold borderly anyway. So yeah, and the wettest part of last year was March of 2025 actually, when we saw those floods through Queensland, and these thresholds were right up in the middle of the neutral warm territory. So it's completely pointless to base all your climate outlooks on these features unless you have the mechanisms in play that can actually utilise those same weather features. And then if we go to the IOD, you'll see the IOD, this is just the BOM data by the way, IOD is well and truly into the negative territory. We know that, and that is supported by climate models themselves as well. So there's been no change to the IOD threshold. We're down here at about 1.5. If we move this out of the way, we should be at about at about 1.5. So if we drew a line there, we're at 1.6. So it's pretty much on the money there. So just know that the Pacific Ocean thresholds contradict one another, and it's pretty much pointless anyway. So with that, we can have a look at some of these are the longer range models. These are 3 monthlies, rainfall anomalies. So this one in particular is November, December, January. We're looking at pretty much average rainfall, but notice there's this little corridor that's forming through South Australia. So this will happen through November. If we go to December, January, February, we'll see that most of those anomalies start pushing up into the northeast and to the northwest. So this is where we're looking at that tropical cyclone signal to come in through the Pilbara. Have a look at the December map for that. And then January, February, March, we'll see a lot of that rainfall consolidated across the top end and then down through eastern Queensland. So we've got that tropical low in February that comes down through the Wide Bay, the rain band through March, so that's all the March signals. But there should be more anomalies across the top end, but being the top end this time of year, average rainfall is still probably close to a metre anyway, so being average, it still doesn't show that there's minimal range. So that's the 3 monthlies. If we go to the monthlies, so this is November. Again, this should probably update in a few days once we actually tick over into November. This has been very unreliable, this model, over the last few months, particularly. But notice we're getting into those drier conditions, moving into the months ahead overall on a monthly basis. So that again shows that we're not looking at any substantial major features for the wet season in terms of cyclones outside of what I expect for that event to be in April next year. So just take that in mind too. This is for these charts, they're on the BOM website. I'll show you how to find them. If you just go to their homepage, it's the new website. It's not as hard to navigate as people complain about. Just hit long range weather, scroll down to long range forecast and climate modelling, and these are those maps here. There is a million to choose from. They're all very similar. They're just different models of the same data, essentially, by different providers. If you want to see the outlook for the months ahead, we know that these are problematic as well, but this is how you find them. Something I want to notice though is this November forecast, that they've got this rainfall corridor through eastern South Australia into Victoria. So this is what we've been saying for months should be a highlight. And then if we go through this into the later parts of November, we see that corridor thickens up again. So this should be from around the 19th to the 24th. So to see that again in the moving towards the second half of the month, this is a really good signal. So this one looks about right. It's probably a week early, and the current one is pretty much right as well, where we're going to see that focus rain through South Australia and then parts of the eastern states. November itself, traditionally that's that rainfall corridor that I was saying through the Channel Country, Southern Alice Springs District, North East Pastoral, right down through to Victoria. So that'll extend down further southeast than shown there. And then December, most of this rain will just be consolidated across the top end. But there should be some rainfall, positive anomalies for the Pilbara here with this tropical system. So there's a bit of variability with the December one. And then, we won't go through those too much. We know that they're quite unreliable beyond a month. But to see those two November windows is very important to see. So that's just a bit of my take on the BOM information and the long-range climate type information. It's just good to know how to interpret that. There's a bit of a how to find those charts. So this is the charts for the ENSO and Indian Ocean. Same thing, there's the charts there. Just click through this video as I do it, you'll find your way through it. Indian Ocean. Nothing's really changed on the website but their radar. I'm not going to comment on that either. If you want a reliable radar, just get a good weather app. Like, again, I use WeatherZone. Got no affiliation with them, but I've never had a problem. Very simple to use. And their app, I think their app's actually free for the radar, so just jump on them. Give them a plug. They're an independent service as well, so support the independent guys. So that's about a sum up for that. We'll go to the weather next, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing some long range research.